Hi, Tammy. How's it?
Hi, Sid. I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm okay on this overcast rainy day. I know you just told me before we went live how delightfully hot Dubai is, so I wouldn't mind borrowing some of the heat, but not too
Oh,
much.
and I wouldn't mind some of the rain and the overcast weather. I really, really miss that. Those blanket days, movies, and popcorns. We don't ever get that here. So I would love to
Oh,
exchange.
all right. All right. It's awesome. I'll have to like because usual catch up with you, especially on another topic, which is now the charity organizations in Dubai. So my opening question to you is, what role do charity organizations play in Dubai society, and how do they differ from those in South Africa?
So here in Dubai, remember it's the socioeconomic content here in Dubai. It's vastly different to South Africa. So here you get organizations that often supplement the government's, the robust. The social welfare aspect. They're very much on helping out expats. They're very much against abuse and when it comes to unfair practices, when it comes to the organizations, the companies that you work for, they try to help out in those ways. They often have medical assistance. They actually, because of it being such a economically stable country, they often help other countries. I know they offer on a weekly basis. They're sending food hampers to, to the war zones, and there's so much behind the scenes that we actually don't know of. But there's a whole lot of YouTube videos that actually show what Dubai actually does. So we think, there's this rich conglomerates that they're only worried about themselves, etc. But there's so much more that actually happens behind the scenes that we're not aware of. And in terms of South Africa, I think the government should actually pull up their socks a lot and try to assist, especially when it comes to the education with abused women. What I've known, I've set up some groups in South Africa as well for females, mainly for females. What South Africa doesn't have is, you do have these homes for women, um, like they want to avoid the abuse and stuff like that. But sometimes, and it goes through obviously a process that they've got to enter this place. Sometimes, on a 2 o'clock in the morning, your husband comes home drunk, and there's no real space for that woman to run to. She doesn't want to run to her families because of pride, or families don't want to know about them. So South Africa doesn't have a safe space that a female like that can go to. So those sort of things where the government can really up themselves in having these safe spaces and really have it run very well. So you're not getting somebody really taking advantage of the system. So that's where I feel South Africa should really up their game.
Have you personally supported or volunteered with any charity organizations in Dubai, and how was that experience?
So here I have not had the chance to have that experience, because we don't get the beggars on the street. We don't get the exposure to those charities, to those orphanages. I've not seen anything. So what I do as my seva is, you get some of the lower income, like the pool attendant here, and some of the reception staff. So on a regular basis, I make them sandwiches, or I will probably bake them some muffins or scones and take it down to them as my seva. So here there is, I have not seen those those poor communities, those poor organizations that you can, and it's such a fine line. You also don't want to overstep here, because I'm still fairly new in the place. You don't want to overstep. Some people enjoy living on the outskirts. They enjoy living on the back streets. So you don't necessarily want to overstep and go and now do this charity organization, and they're like, hang on, we don't need this, So it's such a fine line. Whereas in South Africa, I did it on a regular basis. I even once a week, when the guys that come to remove the rubbish, I would make them sandwiches and give them cool drinks, etc. And they were so glad to receive this. Whereas here, you got to be very, very cautious as to who you reach out to, and only if somebody is in need, then you can reach out a helping hand.
All right, I have a question for you in the comments here, and this one is from Rish Jitan. Hi Tammy, what are the procedures of running an NGO?
To be very honest, Rish, I don't know. But if you would like to private message me, I will definitely find out and I will get back to you. I haven't seen much NGOs here or NPOs. And as I said, a lot of the people actually help from here. They help universally.
All right. What types of causes, for example, education, health, poverty relief, animal welfare, do Dubai charities focus on the most?
So they focus on a lot of education, scholarships, literacy programs, and schools schools infrastructure, I would say. And they've got this program going on that Dubai Cares. So it's they do have the healthcare campaign where they do medical treatment support, free clinics in the outlying areas, health awareness campaigns. They do the poverty relief, like the food drives, the clothing donations. What I found here, which South Africa I've not seen, they have these huge, it's like a metal bin. It's quite a massive thing. It looks like like twice the size of an ATM, and it's sort of like a one-way bin. You can put in stuff, and it goes into this massive bin that you can't actually access. There's the lower end people, the charity people that come and they remove this. You get a lot of the expats that come here. They no longer need the clothing. They want to downscale, so they put a lot of these clothing into these massive charity bins that they donate to other places. I know a lot of that actually went to the war zones as well, and it was phenomenal when you saw the heap of clothing that actually came out from those bins. There's other in Dubai. There's the other religious obligations like your zakat. Especially during Ramadan. I love it during Ramadan here because even the restaurants, they would give you freebies. And when you enter, they would give you the hibiscus juice and, the treatment. They would give you like the starters, etc. And the food spread is absolutely amazing. So during Ramadan here, people are very generous.
All right. There's another question here for you here, again from Resh Jitan. Do you get shelters for abandoned babies? If so, how is it funded?
So there is an orphanage, and there is a shelter for that, but I've not. It is funded by the Dubai government. But I have not seen one personally where I could volunteer or get more information on. But I know there are such places, and it goes under the banner of Dubai Cares.
Okay. All right. How do cultural and religious values like zakat and Islam influence charity work in Dubai?
So Islam has a direct impact on zakat. It's like according to the Quran, it's obligatory almsgiving, and you get I think it's pronounced as sadaqah, the voluntary charity where people do this on a regular basis, and they integrate social expectations, what people need. So charity in Islam is considered a duty, especially during Ramadan, like I mentioned previously. And during that time, you would actually find donations, charity events, food hampers, all those kind of things. They're actually on a huge high. They're on a spike. During Ramadan, especially, they have these events. They have it in front of the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. They have it in Expo City, where they have this massive cannon, and they have the countdown to iftar. So iftar is the evening, the breaking of the fast for the day. So they have this countdown, and they fire off these cannons. And during that time, they give off, as soon as the cannon goes off, that means it's time to break your fast. So they give off dates, they give off chocolates. A lot of the affluent people do give donations around that time. There's not only the Islamic people that come to these events. So there's a lot of children, and it's such a fun event to be around when this cannon goes off. They actually have it live streamed as well. So you see the people, they're giving out the little milkshakes, they're giving out the dates, chocolate-covered dates, sweets, chocolates. So there's a lot of cultural emphasis on generosity, community responsibility, and visible philanthropy, which encourages constant support for these various causes.
Are expats encouraged to participate in charity initiatives? And if so, how easy is it to get involved?
So there is nothing that involves the expats here. There's nothing where, like South Africa, there's a drive. They encourage people to come through with donations, etc. Here, they do it very under the radar, I would say. But you get various, I've noticed this on Facebook and a few of the WhatsApp groups, they call it pay it forward. So on the Safas group, like there's the South Africans group, and they call it pay it forward, where they encourage the expats to participate in volunteer programs, charity events, help out somebody that's come newly to Dubai, help them out with furniture. Again, as I mentioned previously, where somebody's their tenure of working here is up, and they want to go back to their home countries, and they want to give up their stuff. So they actually put it out onto these groups. I know there's one for the Filipinos, and there's one on the Safas group for the South Africans, and they say free. Some people will give off their entire apartment belongings, and it's not your I don't know what to equate it to in South Africa, but not your cheap melamine wood type of furniture. It's good solid wood. Just last week, I saw somebody from quite a prestigious shop. They bought an L-shaped lounge set, a dining room set, and they were giving it off at next to nothing. If you had to, or not next to, they were giving it off free. And if you had to buy that at that store, it will cost you in the region of about 50 to 80,000 rand.
Sure.
So yes, there are these organizations and there are these charity initiatives, but not on a public level. It's more individual groups.
All right. My final question to you is, what lessons do you think South Africa should learn from Dubai's approach to charity and community support?
So I would say structured and strategic giving or charity. Like Dubai's charities are highly organized, where they have these charity events, and you would see like the Chris Feds of the world. He's one of the DJs on Virgin Radio. It's run by them. It's high end. So if South Africa can adopt something like that, where it's strictly governed by, it's not managed by people that want to line their pockets, really. It's intended to the beneficiaries, and that these beneficiaries are benefiting from it. So corporate engagement, getting businesses that are more involved in CSR, creating the culture of organized community support. I know what South Africa is doing in the recent years, just before I could leave, is they were looking on their CSR program, they were looking at more community involvement, where the team buildings that they would organize is they would organize it for an orphanage or an old age home, or some sort of NPO or NGO that needs, probably they need the place painted, or they need somebody to do woodwork for them. So you get an entire department in an organization. They would come there, and you would have different groups or teams of people handling certain things. I know my son did it in University of Pretoria. He did that as well, where he went out into a school for handicapped people. This is another thing, sorry to deviate, but this is another thing that I love about Dubai is here you call it people of determination. And in South Africa, they say disabled people. So I like the concept of having people of determination rather than disabled, or whatever funny names that South Africa calls them by. So my son was involved in a school in South Africa where they redid their entire kitchen, and they buffed the sanded down the doors, repainted it, revarnished it, cleared up the countertops, redid everything as part of their community project. So if more companies can adopt the same type of culture and make it like a fun thing, where you probably have like a takeout. I'm not mentioning anyone in particular, but you get these takeout nice boxes where you can sit with those children and have your team building amongst them, with your staff. I think that builds such rapport, and it actually gives the staff so much more camaraderie and working together on these charity events. I think that would be something really, really good that if South Africa can adopt or can look into. And you can run it very strictly. We've got such brilliant minds in South Africa when it comes to technology platforms. Run these awareness campaigns. You can even create an app on your phone. And, high profile events, maximize the participation from the large companies, from the affluent people. So South Africa can adopt some of these strategies to improve their transparency and their efficiency, and make it consistent. I often see, which I feel very sad about, is you get these affluent people that have this massive feeding. It's just a once-off. It's like once a year. Hello, what happens to those people the rest of the 11 months or the rest of the time? I would say do it on a consistent basis. You don't have to, people, what I find now, they do it for name and fame. It's like you're giving to a charity organization, or you're giving to an orphanage, or to children. And here I'm giving a backpack, they're smiling for the camera. It's more become a social thing. I'm guilty. I used to do it. 4 or 5 years back. I used to post it. I belong to the Ubuntu tribe as well. In South Africa, where a friend of mine runs it, Panu, and she donates bread to the rubbish collectors and the plastic. Before the bin men come, you get these people collecting the plastic bottles. She donates to those people, and it's just loaves of bread, and it makes such a huge difference, and it's consistent. If she can't make it for whatever reason, she's got a backup that helps her out. So if people want to donate, you can donate anything, 50 Rand, 200 Rand a month, that goes towards these charities for donating. It's just bread. And that bread, loaf of bread, can get that one individual surviving for 4 to 5 days. So I would say consistency is key in South Africa, and addressing a systematic approach to these socioeconomic challenges.
All I gotta say that thanks so much for your time, and I'll check you again next week, 9 a.m. or earlier.
Sure, sure, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Have a great day further and a lovely week ahead. Love and
Likewise.
light.